Good evening, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
Welcome. We've got another great roundup show for you this week. We've got news and events, drag racing, tournaments, street racing, rallying, Frank's Garage, Track Spice. So this is something slightly different for us this week. And of course, Crash of the Week.
Yeah, there's some great stuff in there this week. I'm looking forward to showing you all.
Of course, don't forget, Diecast Racing Report premiere issue comes out hopefully next week. Keep an eye on all the forums, particularly over at Chaos Canyon. We'll be posting links to it there and telling you how to get a hold of it. Coming up very soon, we've got Charger Summer and Redline Derby Racing double feature. And then, of course, the D64 Gaslands race. Looking forward to that. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on, so make sure if you don't have your YouTube channel listed already, get over to Redline Derby, find the channel list. We'll put the link in the description. Make sure you get them on there. It's a great way to help people find you.
First up in the drag racing, it's not strictly drag racing, but we like to put it in here, is Hot Car Track and the Thursday Night Hot Rods. Simon had taken a week off to do some work around the track and it looks amazing. Really love what he's done. Go and check out the races. That Purginator is an absolute beast, but you can see there, didn't have it all his own way. And of course NZ Racing, another Kiwi, starting in next week.
And then moving back to TRACKATTACK for their King of the Strip finals. This is such a great track and lots of good camera angles, so you never miss any of the action. Everything is timed. Definitely go and check that out if you like your drag racing. I love the fact that it's like 8 lanes wide. It's just brilliant.
And of course Mr. Mom's Racing, or should I say Mr. Mom's Racing. We saw last week for the first time one of their Bugatti races. This week it's the Mustangs, and these things fly down the track. I just love these camera angles that they get. It just really shows off the speed these things are travelling at. And boom, look at that. Whoa. You know we like a good wipeout at the canyon.
That's right, Guru. Go and check out Mr. Mom's Racing if you haven't already. New this week, we've got Hotwheels Boys from New Zealand. So this is another drag track. They fired down a few different cars down the track, just one at a time this time. And they were doing speed testing. So if you haven't seen the speed tester, it's a great little unit. It does have a few little idiosyncrasies, let's say, in terms of car length, but it is still a great little tool, and Hot Wheels Boys do all sorts of racing. Go and check them out. It's a cool little channel. And you see there the Lamborghini blazing through 376 kilometers per hour. Love to see that.
Then we've got Rust Belt Racing, and he's done this really cool kids tournament where the kids had to design and modify the cars themselves. And there's just some brilliant paint jobs in there. Go and have a look, support the kids, and you know, they're the next generation coming through, and we always want to see people coming through in the sport. It's what makes it so cool.
There's some very inventive kids out there. I mean, I just love some of these designs. That one's just brilliant. And this track, like, look at that drop. It's just brutal. And a very fast transition. Those things are moving at pace. Coming over to the tournaments, again, there's a lot to get through this week, so we're going to move through it pretty quickly. War on I-4, we introduced them last week. They have actually started their Diecast Open Wheel series this week. Tons of drivers, and I have never seen so many cars on one track at one time. This is insane.
That's right, mate. There are cars going everywhere. There's crashes, people flying off the track. I don't know how I keep track of it all. It's just amazing to watch. Go
and check out War on I-4. Then, of course, Diecast Racing League.
And it was your race this week, wasn't it, Spanners? I'm pretty sure you were up, weren't you?
Yeah, but, we'll just move on.
Why do you want to move on, mate? I want to see it.
Well, if you want to see it, just jump over to Mike's channel. That's really the best place. You know, we've got a lot to get through. I don't want to hold everyone up just watching me race. That's
You're quite a way behind there, mate.
Look, I may have left the handbrake on. Let's not get into it. Go and have a look at RTR Diecast Racing for yourself. Now we move over to Trax Racing for the Diecast League. This was the last race to determine the finalists. So at the moment, Nero62 leading, Chaos Canyon second, Team Mogmog third. The other three a little bit behind, but in these races anything can happen. Obviously Stevenson had that perfect run in the first round and picked up 30 points, so it was still open to anyone. These races swapped backwards and forwards as people were battling for first place. Some great racing. Have a look at it over at Trax Racing. And then Indiana Diecast Racing continued with his IDR Open.
That's right, this is another track that we highlighted last week, and it's a really cool track. There's lots of twists and turns, cars going upside down and getting a bit crazy, and some good overtaking. Go and check that one out.
There's so many good races on at the moment, it's hard to keep up, which is why we like to do these recaps for you to try and give you a bit of an overview of what's going on. We can't highlight everyone, unfortunately, but we try to give you a varied look at what's happening around the diecast world. Remember, if you want to be involved, get over to Redline Derby and post in the DSPN forum. And of course, our own Chevy Showdown at Chaos Canyon. Grandma here just absolutely sent it this week. She totally fed it the jandle all the time.
That's right, mate. She gave it the beans without hesitation.
Josh and Mike Mays there trying to push past Granny while she was on her roof. She nailed the signs, took out one that we'd only just put up, and then of course it was time for the El Caminos to show their stuff. Now they have been traditionally very stable on the track, but this week they just got wild. I don't know if they were trying to compete with the Monte Carlos or what, but they were all over the place. Some great racing and some very stylish driving there from Nocky Jack with a little in-lane barrel roll. It's very impressive how he did that. Moving over to street racing, we're going to kick off with the Indonesian Diecast Racing channel. Now, this is another one that we highlighted for the first time last week. This is a great track, really well themed, and they had the Beat the Truck series. So the idea was you had to finish ahead of the armoured vehicle, which you can see in the first lap at least, these guys weren't doing quite so good at. But really good racing there, go and check it out. And of course, King of the Mountain officially started this week, and this was exciting. Of course, there was a bit of a tragedy in the last of the qualifiers with McLeod there heading completely off track and unfortunately being killed in the accident. Go and check out 3D Botmaker's channel for the full story there, but some very good racing and some wild driving, people just losing it right on the finish line. And that one there was insanely close. You had to go over and over the replay to find out quite what was going on. And then Shelby from RTR Diecast Racing League coming around here, getting loose in the Shelby and just flipping it.
Moving on to rally news, we move back to DRC. Now, these guys, just as an update, have also set up a street track which will be coming online in the next couple of weeks, so definitely go and check out their channel. These guys have built this brilliant track predominantly out of cardboard and MDF, so this is all hand-built stuff, and it just gives some amazing races, cars spinning out, rolling, flipping, and just blazing down the track. Moving over to Frank's Custom Corner, we wanted to highlight that Diecast 64E has got another episode of Picture That. It's a great series where he goes out with his cars and gets some brilliant photos out in the wild. Go and check it out, get some tips for yourself, and I just love this one of the Jeep. It really looks the right setting for it, you know, a good wild setting. Then you've got these ones here. This is from Arvin Salvador in New Zealand, and he's built all of these dioramas himself, and these photos just look amazing. There's so many different aspects to it. It's absolutely brilliant. He's got garages, houses, street scenes, and of course the car wash.
Jorge Tracanas did this excellent series. So this is Chico. He's got a whole big series with Chico doing all sorts of stuff, but I loved this that they were out racing their radio control cars. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And then Ken Olsen here took the Mazda out for a spin and of course got pulled over. You gotta watch out for that. First up this week is Trax and we are super excited for this one. This track is about to launch. And just look at that theming. It is absolutely post-apocalyptic. Flat Rabbit Race Club. You're definitely going to have to go and check that out. We'll have a link in the description. This track is epic. Really looking forward to the races. And it's one of the other few tracks with a jump. I just love that.
And then, of course, there's the fire at the finish. That's just a piece of brilliance.
Definitely, mate. Really looking forward to that. And then finally this week, Stunt of the Week. And it has to go to Knocky Jack. This is one we didn't show earlier. Rides on a side, barrel rolls, but also does a 180 flip after a rail slide into the opposite lane and then still manages to back over the jump. It was absolutely insane.
I mean, he did this a couple of times, rides around on his side, but that one there, how he changed lanes. Comes around, goes wide, bounces off the sign, rail slides, flips around. That was just some brilliant car control.
Alright, that is us for another week. Now remember, we're doing this in association with Redline Derby, so if you are looking for information on diecast racing or modifying or track building or anything like that, or you're wanting to get your track featured so that people can find you, jump over to Redline Derby, check it out, get your stuff on there and be part of the forums. You know, don't just be a lurker.
Yeah, we don't like just people who lurk about. We want people to get involved, you know, be part of the discussion, ask the questions. Don't be afraid. The guys are really friendly there, really helpful, and everyone's looking forward to seeing some more tracks.
Okay, that is it from us this week. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs, and we will see you next time. Mate, how good does that Flat Rabbit Racing track look?
Oh, it looks incredible, man. I can't wait for that race to start.